Black Power, Assalamu alaikum family. This is your brother Shaka Shakur. And we're continuing our discussion on the African burial ground here at 100 Center here on Afrikan Talk. Now, I'm glad we found this map here, so maybe you can get a kind of a visual of just how vast the real African burial grounds is, and not just on this little street here. Okay, now this map we have here goes from Reed Street and Chambers all the way to State Street. Now this is where the Statue of Liberty and all Ellis Island and all that is right here. This is the entire lower half of Manhattan. All of this area was developed, built by you, the African, especially the lower half here was developed and built by us, and this is the area. So when we talk about 10,000 people found in just this immediate area, could you imagine how many were not found here? How many bodies were not discovered? How many people left anonymous? This cannot be allowed. We have to tell our story. Now here you have the African burial grounds to the left of me. We're gonna skim around there real quick. Now you have the African burial ground to the left, and then behind me you have this luxurious federal building. Look. Oh, all right, they said we can't film the building. Thank you, brother, no problem. I guess we can't film it because we don't own it. But we're buried, we built it. See, we built it, but we can't film it. And you tell me that racism does not exist. You tell me that oppression does not exist and white supremacy does not exist. They control your bones. There's a gate on it, like I showed you earlier, locking you out. Now, we can't even film. But we're not mad at the workers because they gotta do their job. You know, that's our brown brother. He's in the struggle like we are. But we understand that it's corporate America, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, white supremacist corporate America that puts us in a situation where we are locked out our own struggle and locked out our own legacy. But anyway, look at all this land. Now, this land is where we were brought to from far away and made to work until we drop dead. Or as Brother Malcolm said, from can't see sun up to can't see sun down. So understand that. And I just want you to really focus on that and know that. Come down here for yourself. Family, you complain about the education system, you say it doesn't work, okay, well fine, make it work. Instead of hanging around the house playing PlayStation or reading some funny hood novel or watching the videos, dress yourself, dress your babies, take some money out, $10 family, get on a train, bring your family down here, walk your family around, learn your culture. At this point, it is ludicrous and insane for the European powers to have this much control over our heritage. That's your people buried there, no one else's. And you don't even have a control over when you can come see them, how long you can come see them, if you can come film, etc. They call the ground federal ground. Federal ground means that it is property of the United States of America government, not you. So how can the bones of African people be the property of the federal government? That's just like saying if your mother, your brother, your sister died tonight, and I buried her, I said, no, those are my bones, they're on my land. You can come when I say you can come. Would you stand for that? Of course not. So since you wouldn't stand for that, don't stand for this. Don't be happy you can come down here. And I'm talking to some of you shirt and tie Negroes who sit up in this board every year talking about you down with the African burial ground, you down with the restoration, yada, yada, yada. But all you're doing is rubbing elbows with the same people who are responsible for putting them in that position to become the ancestors we're talking about. We still don't control that. So if it's going to be an African burial ground, then it needs to be controlled, operated, and owned by Africans. So you Jay-Z's, and 50 Cents, and Russell Simmons, and Oprah Winfrey's, and all you know, rich athletes, LeBron James, etc., and even you hood dudes that's pushing $50,000 cars, wearing $100,000 around your neck, put your money together and get the African burial grounds back in the possession of African people. It's peace that Jay-Z and the Smiths went and got the play Fela. That's what's up. That's a good move. Now we say make a stronger power move and put your money into the African burial ground so that it's actually controlled by Africans. And so we won't have our babies being tourists when it comes to their own site. Like I said, Afrikan Talk is raw and uncut, off the cuff. We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna tell you just how we feel. We're not down here to talk about 9/11 and Ground Zero. This was the first Ground Zero. Okay? This was the first Ground Zero. So I'm talking to all Africans. I don't care what you believe in. Get in gear and fight for this. Like I said earlier, tomorrow's Columbus Day. You can best believe that our Native American brothers and sisters, they're gonna be down there tomorrow raising all kinds of sin about celebrating the mass murder of their people. How about you, African? Are you gonna come down here and raise sin about the fact that our ancestors' bones are buried here and out of our reach? And that this whole area is sacred? You let the Tea Party come in and declare ground zero, a square block, as sacred ground, but that sacred ground rests on top of our sacred ground, rests on top of the blood of Africans, and rests on top of the blood of Native Americans, also Africans. See, we want to keep it real. We want to get straight to the point. Now, on a side note, for the African in America who claims to be a Muslim, talking directly to you now, that percentage of us, that block of us that claim Islam, you African, okay, stop pretending to be an Arab and start getting involved with African issues, Muslim. Start getting involved with the issues of Africans here in America. It's not enough to come out of an event and call yourself an African American Muslim. Step up. Step up and get involved. You should be the one defending what's going on at Ground Zero. Because what they're saying right now, hell, it was Africans who built Ground Zero who were Muslim. They were Muslim. So we should be down here talking about this. Muslims should be leading trips with young Muslims down here talking about the great percentage of Africans who died here who were Muslim. Talking about people like Mansa Musa and the Songhai Empire who sent African Muslims over here before 1492 to discover, talk, and build on this land. You didn't just come here in shackles and chains, African in America, Muslim. You were here already. We are the indigenous Muslim here. All love, but hey, until 1965, no one was toiling the ground here but us. And stop being ashamed to say that. Stop being scared. If the man in Pakistan can be proud of being in Pakistan, I can be proud of being an African. If the man in Pakistan can fight for Pakistan, I can fight and stand up for the African who is Muslim, who was Muslim, and who will be Muslim tomorrow. Shaka, Shakur, your brother from Afrikan Talk, and the rest of the United Muslim Alliance, we don't shuck and jive when it comes to this issue. We tired of shucking and jiving. You turned out in droves, and you should, about the Cordoba house. That's what's up. But it ain't no Islamophobia going on. It's straight up racism, straight up bigotry, and an attempt to brush out the African from the pages of Islamic history here in America and around the world. So we're tying that in. And those of you who are African descent or original descent who are not Muslim, get involved as well. All right, family? So we'll see you again on Afrikan Talk. As always, enjoy the video. Assalamu alaikum. Black power.